Chapter 1: The Crown and the Flame. The sun poured into the throne hall like molten gold, casting long shadows that clung to the marble pillars. Everything about this morning was ceremonial, from the way the guards stood like statues to the way the tapestries hung straight despite the breeze. The royal court of Velmyra watched in silence, breath held, as Prince Thorian walked to the council dais, alone. For the first time in his 18 years, he stood without his father's shadow beside him. His brow caught the morning light, not heavy in weight, but in meaning. Crowned just weeks ago as heir, he wore it like a man newly given a sword, with grace, but with dread hidden in the curve of his shoulders. At the edge of the hall, half slouched behind a pillar, sat Elyon, boots muddied, shirt unbuttoned halfway down his chest. A lazy grin danced on his lips. He winked at Thorian. Thorian didn't smile back. "My prince," came the voice of Lord Malrek, aged but sharp as the rings on his fingers. "Shall we begin?" Thorian took a step forward. "Yes, begin." Each sentence tangled in diplomacy. Grain taxes in the south, bandit activity near the Emberidge border, trade routes through the eastern mountains. Thorian's voice remained steady, his questions wise, but something gnawed at him, the way the courtiers looked at him now. Not with reverence, but speculation. Not a single word was said about the attack near the northern outpost, a patrol slaughtered, the enemy's banner burned into the trees, but no one brought it up. Why? Thorian was still thinking about it when Malrek stood to conclude the session. "We thank His Highness for his insight." The room bowed low, their deference rehearsed. Thorian stepped down, and the moment he passed he heard it. A whisper, a soft murmur, too faint to decipher, but sharp enough to know it wasn't praise. Outside, the palace grounds were alive with clashing swords and stomping boots. Thorian found Elyon sparring shirtless in the training yard, laughing as he dodged a soldier's strike. 2 points for the shirtless wonder, Mara called from the stairs, arms crossed. Elyon turned to grin, panting. 3 points, if I do it backwards next time. "You're not even supposed to be here," Thorian said as he approached, trying not to sound irritated. "You were excused from the council again? Excused?" Elyon raised an eyebrow. "No, I simply didn't show up." Thorian exhaled through his nose. Elyon wiped sweat from his brow, his smile fading. "Why? You want me to sit in that gilded cage while they throw lies cloaked in silk? You handled it just fine without me." "They don't want me there anyway." "That's not the point. You're a prince, you're my brother." Elyon met Thorian's eyes. "Exactly. So let me guard your back, not your damn throne." That night a storm gathered beyond the palace walls. Thunder grumbled like a beast too tired to roar. Thorian stood alone in his chambers, removing his golden circlet with slow fingers. The candlelight flickered across the carved lions on the wall. He felt the pressure of the day pressing in around him, the weight of expectations, eyes watching, a name inherited, not earned. A knock came at the door. It was Queen Seraphina. She entered without asking. Her robe was lilac silk, but her eyes held the sharpness of steel. "You held yourself well today, did I?" Thorian muttered. "They looked at me like I was a mistake." "They looked at you like a boy still learning. There's no shame in that." Thorian turned to her. "Mother," she paused, "because the court is afraid." "Afraid of what?" She took a step closer, touching his cheek. "Afraid that peace is just a story to help us sleep." Before Thorian could ask more, a servant burst in, pale and wide-eyed. "Your Highness," he stammered, "the guards caught someone. In the west wing, masked, armed. He escaped, but..." He dropped this. He held out a scroll. Thorian took it. He unrolled it. The ink was smeared, but legible. "The crown sits on the wrong head. The fire rises beneath your feet."